Disclaimer, what I'm about to talk about is based on pre-release content. Some of this will hopefully get fixed in a future version. Please make sure 343 Industries knows about these issues so that Halo C Anniversary can be the game we should have gotten on PC. Halo Combat Evolved on PC has had a rocky life to it, and right now it's sort of a pick your poison kind of deal, with the different options for you to play it. And with a new version coming, this could get even worse. Or not. 343 Industries has a unique opportunity to actually resolve this problem, but this needs done as soon as possible. There are issues that need fixed, and I'm not talking about the known issues or bugs that people are commonly reporting, which will almost certainly get fixed. Actually, I'm talking about long-standing bugs that are present on Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary that were also present on Halo PC, but were fixed by the community thanks to mods, as well as things that were on Halo PC, but were removed on Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary with no sign of them being added back. Thankfully, 343 Industries has shown that they do listen to community feedback. Many of the original sounds are back, and this is a huge improvement. More importantly, this game, while it has anti-cheat, also has an option to start it without anti-cheat, allowing you to use mods. That's great, but this should only be for new content, not fixes. If the only way to fix these issues were with mods, then you would have trouble playing with other players, since disabling anti-cheat disables matchmaking. Since there is no server browser currently available for finding games, that would mean you would be stuck only with the people in your friends list. If 343 Industries were to actually re-implement this stuff, being that they actually have access to the source code, then this would mean everyone would have access to these fixes, even in matchmaking. Let's start out with the things that stick out like a sore thumb. Interpolation. Halo PC has a problem where objects only animated at 30 frames per second, even when the game has an unlocked frame rate. Interpolation was something that was implemented into Halo PC through a community mod, Chimera. While Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary does have interpolation, it doesn't interpolate quite as much, and this was immediately noticeable when starting the campaign level, the Silent Cartographer, before doing anything else. The glow effects and plasma projectiles and the energy sword, for example, still only move at 30 frames per second. Objects during cutscenes are also animated at 30 frames per second, immediately noticeable in levels like the Silent Cartographer. The first-person camera only moves at 30 frames per second when inside of a vehicle. And lastly, attachments, such as flag banners, are also only animated at 30 frames per second. Chimera's interpolation on Halo PC, however, has no such restrictions, and thus looks many times better in these instances. Texture filtering. Speaking of rendering, let's talk about texture filtering. Halo PC out of the box appears to use trilinear filtering, and the technique CE Anniversary uses doesn't appear to look much better, if at all. However, there are numerous ways to make Halo PC use 16x anisotropic filtering. dgvoodoo, DXVK, and the NVIDIA control panel are some easy ways to do this. It's worth noting that Halo PC even has a built-in option through config.txt, but it only applies to the environment, not individual objects. CE Anniversary doesn't have any sort of options for this, and for a 2020 PC game, this is a strange absence. Anti-aliasing. While on the subject of graphics, let's also mention the anti-aliasing and how there isn't any on CE Anniversary, where MSAA is present on Halo PC when run with dgvoodoo. Basically, aliasing adds a sort of jagged appearance to the edges of objects, and anti-aliasing uses techniques to reduce this effect. Aliasing on edges isn't quite as severe as a lack of interpolation, but come on. Please. Vehicle camera centering. Let's talk about some more Halo PC bugs that were fixed by the community, and let's bring up vehicle camera centering. When driving a vehicle in Halo Combat Evolved, the camera will gravitate towards the center. In Halo Combat Evolved, this is based on frame rate. Thus, if you have a higher frame rate, it gravitates faster. Thus, on an unlimited frame rate, vehicles are virtually unusable. On Halo PC, the Chimera mod fixes this, so it works like it's as fast as on the original Xbox's 30 FPS, without actually having to lock the frame rate. It also provides the option to disable it too for mouse users that find it annoying. On CE Anniversary, this long-standing bug isn't patched yet, and even when playing with a 60 FPS lock enabled, it's still twice as fast as it should be. Lens flare size. On Halo, lens flares such as the sun are drawn at the same resolution regardless of the resolution of the game. This means that it'll appear relatively smaller on higher resolutions, which on Xbox, it's at its normal size at 480p, while on Halo PC, it's at its normal size at 768p. Halo PC, as you can see, has this fixed through the Chimera mod. CE Anniversary does not. 3D sounds. This is one of those things that was present in Halo PC, but removed in CE Anniversary, including many environment effects such as reverberation. There were also other special effects, such as explosions being muffled behind walls. On C Anniversary, it seems that volume is based on distance and direction, and while this is good enough to simulate where and how far something is, when compared to its predecessor, it sounds flat. It's worth noting that, on Halo PC, EAX support was removed in the release of Windows Vista, but it could be restored to its former glory using libraries such as DSOAL, which implements EAX over OpenAL Soft. Next, let's talk about some things in multiplayer that were present in Halo PC but not in CE Anniversary. I'll go through these quickly, they're pretty self-explanatory. Halo PC allows you to change your team mid-game, provided the game type settings allow you to. Halo PC allows you to reset the game mid-game, although this had a bug where it didn't reset the equipment timer. Fixed by mods, of course. Halo PC allows you to change the map and game type of a client-hosted server without having to back to the main menu. Halo PC has equipment rotation, which can optionally be disabled with mods if desired. CE Anniversary, however, tries to mimic Xbox behavior even on non-classic game types, and this makes maps like Blood Gulch look very weird in comparison. Halo PC has a server browser allowing you to join a variety of games that already have players on it. Halo PC allows you to join games with an IP address, where you can only join specific games on CE Anniversary if your friends on Xbox Live. Halo PC also has community-hosted dedicated servers, and this is probably why people still play this game, despite its issues. And lastly, Halo PC has custom maps. This is essentially free DLC for the game that the game developers themselves don't have to make. High-resolution HUD. Lastly, let's talk about one more issue, and that is the HUD itself. I saved this for last, as I don't actually expect 343 Industries to fix this, since it's been complained about for years and has not changed. But the Anniversary HUD, while high resolution, just isn't all that great. Things like nav markers seem to also contrast poorly due to being much darker. The ticks in the sniper rifles seem to also have the same color issue that Halo Custom Edition has. A good example of a high-resolution HUD on Halo PC is Jesse's HUD, and this is quite faithful to the original HUD. Sniper ticks also look quite good. There is, however, one caveat, and that is that the original game has some elements drawn at a hard-coded scaling. Thus, not every element can be drawn perfectly at, say, 4K without looking janky in some way. So with all this, it sounds like Halo PC is so much better than CE Anniversary. However, this actually isn't true. There are quite a few things that CE Anniversary does right that PC simply doesn't do. You can buy it online. First off, you can buy MCC digitally. This makes it easy and convenient to obtain, and this means the player base can actually grow. Not to mention, this game may still get updates even after release. Halo PC, on the other hand, can only be bought through physical copies, and this game is no longer in production, so when it sells out forever. Netcode. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary's netcode is way better. Death sounds work. Many projectiles are also synced correctly where they weren't before, where PC had some desyncing issues. Also, the ping compensation is so much better than even SAP's, and Halo PC doesn't even have ping compensation if you play on a client-hosted game. Co-op. CE Anniversary also has online co-op. Halo PC doesn't have co-op. Sure, it uses a form of lockstep, and there's no split screen for whatever reason. So if you play with players on long distances, having your input get delayed by a lot just isn't great, but it at least exists and is still fun. Water. Another thing that CE Anniversary has is that the water is actually fixed. The water on the Silent Cartographer looks so much better on CE Anniversary, very similar to how it looked on Xbox, where Halo PC's looks muddy and bland. Sound quality. Lastly, the sound quality in CE Anniversary seems to be so much better, and with proper 3D sound, it could be great. In fact, if 343 Industries were willing, they could re-implement most, if not all of these features. They have the source code, so it's certainly not an impossibility, and were it not for all the improvements they already had, I wouldn't even care about this, let alone make a video, but I do think we could get that version of Halo PC we should have gotten all those years ago, rather than having to pick and choose. If you got this far in the video and you want these things, make sure to let 343 Industry know about these issues. Tell them on Twitter, Discord, Waypoint, Reddit, or wherever else you can reach them. Make a big stink about it because we might just get what we want. But make sure to be respectful when you do this. Don't harass 343 Industries employees. Be patient. Remember that this is still a pre-release, it's buggy, and they can always add things later down the line. And with any luck, we could get something like the version of Halo PC we should have gotten over 16 years ago. Thanks for watching, have a good day.